Hey guys, we're back. Sorry that I haven't posted any videos of this as of late, but the last several months have been really busy. But we're gonna get right back into it because I love me some Cullen. We're just gonna continue chatting with some of our companions here now that we've finished a major story point, which is the Halamshiral stuff. Do you have anything new for us,
How
Josephine?
bracing to be in the thick of the game again. The last time I was at Halamshiral was Countess Letienne's wedding. There were a dozen affairs, 5 secret alliances, and a duel between 2 chevaliers over the vintage of an Antivan port. But until the Duchess was unmasked, I've never seen the Winter Palace in shock.
No one can say the evening wasn't memorable.
They've already begun composing songs about it in Val Royale, no doubt. The game's become increasingly insular in the past few years. Corypheus skillfully took advantage. It's disturbing so few people in the Orlesian court were aware of the Duchess's machinations.
The nobles of Orlais were worried about their own health, not the Empress's.
Some must have purposefully turned a blind eye. There's often room for advancement when thrones change. But let's not lose sight of victory. Your actions at the ball have secured us allies and favors alike.
Well, thank you. It was very exciting.
Playing the game was thrilling. We did just make history.
Indeed. Tales of this affair have begun circulating in Val Royale. Although I do wish Varric would show a bit more restraint in his accounts of the evening. A situation requires your attention, Inquisitor. Noble Chantry loyalists in the city of Jadar are spreading accusations that you're responsible for the Divine's death.
They are,
They're
they?
unusually organized. I recommend we send people to Jadar to deal with the matter.
What does the nobility gain by saying I murdered Justinia?
A scapegoat to begin with, but I wonder if the Grand Clerics are at work. Those immediately eligible to be Divine died at the Conclave. The ones
Right.
remaining were not as favored. They may look upon you as a rival for influence.
Will anyone even believe me if I claim I didn't kill the Divine?
Perhaps if they learn about your heroics, we should emphasize how you stopped the breach devouring the sky.
Exactly.
Even in Jadar, it may win you a few admirers.
We need some propaganda.
Why don't we counter these falsehoods by starting rumors of our own?
A whisper campaign. It would show those in the know we have some subtlety at our command. It's good to
Perfect.
see you.
Have I asked about...
You haven't really gone into detail about how you know Leliana.
We met... let me think. We met the last few years of my schooling, but we became friends after I became ambassador to Orlais. It seems terrifyingly long ago now.
How exactly did you and Leliana reconnect in the Inquisition?
I discovered my family had been overcharging a merchant we traded with for months. Our name carries a great deal of trust in Antiva. I spent weeks arranging a string of favors as suitable recompense. Apparently satisfied, the merchant extended me an invitation to her estate. Leliana greeted me in place of the merchant.
I assume the entire problem was some form of trial.
You assume correctly. Leliana claimed she needed someone of painful integrity for the Inquisition.
Painful
I accepted,
integrity.
once she finally explained what it was.
Do you remain close?
Yes, but she's grown so much more distant than the outgoing woman I met in Val Royale. Leliana used to wander the Orlesian courts, singing the sweetest songs, charming the greatest wits. Now she collects secrets and takes risks that would make empires tremble. I worry, but she will not hear it.
Does Leliana confide in you?
She enjoys revisiting our more disastrous adventures. Leliana used to concoct the most ridiculous plans. Run if you ever see her with a twine ball, a measuring stick, and a handkerchief.
Tell me about the Montiliers.
Well, my parents are alive and in good health. They live in our estate in Antiva City. Of my 4 siblings, most attend to the running of the family vineyards. That reminds me, I must ask someone to make sure Yvette attends the spring reception at the palace. My youngest sister has no head for social engagements.
Why are you overseeing your siblings' social lives?
It's Antivan custom. After a certain age, the heir apparent runs the family's estate to prove they're worthy of succession. If you're unfit for the task, the heads of the house, usually one's parents, may decree a new heir.
Right.
What do these Antivan heads of the households do if they don't run it?
They work and provide guidance. I've taken advice from my parents. Well, mostly mother. Father's more of an artist. It's rather gauche, but we never can dissuade him from running his own salons. Between him and my siblings, mother's looking forward to my taking over the estate.
Can you run your family's business and be the Inquisition's ambassador?
I won't let it interfere with the quality of my work for the Inquisition, I assure you. But managing the estate is my duty. As much work as it is, I will not shirk it.
And that's very admirable of you.
Is running your family's estate that important to you?
I'm responsible for their welfare. A Montilier never shuns their familial duty. Taxing as those duties can sometimes be.
Maybe your siblings could help lighten your burden.
You don't know them. But Lorien in charge, or Antoine, or Yvette? No, truly. It must be me.
Well, you know, that's fine.
You said the Montiliers used to run an entire trading fleet. What happened?
There was a scandal in Val Royaux more than an age ago. The Montiliers were forbidden from trading with Orlais. Our personal fortunes never quite rebounded.
Does anyone in Orlais even remember what that scandal was?
I doubt it, but the injunction persists.
What exactly happened?
An affair with a minor lord. Perhaps. Most other details are lost.
Are you saying your family's livelihood was ruined because of a love affair no one even remembers?
Essentially. Orlesian politics are full of these unhappy little missteps, Inquisitor.
Yeah.
Where were you raised, Josephine?
I was born in Antiva City, but when I turned 15, Mother declared I'd attend finishing school in Val Royaux. But I bowled into her skirts the day I had to leave.
You must have missed her terribly.
I did. And she was most unsympathetic to my wailing. But my mother only wanted the best for me. Living in Orlais was an education in itself.
What did you learn at this finishing school in Val Royaux?
Among other things, mathematics, rhetoric, poetry, history, logic, and a great deal of etiquette.
Of course.
I still remember Madame Beventir's switch on my knuckles when I forgot the basic tenets of Nevaran dining customs. For a dowager approaching her 80th year, she had quite the arm.
How did the younger you like Val Royaux when you arrived?
Have you ever stepped into a new city and felt the buildings couldn't possibly be real? That was Val Royaux to me. So beautifully foreign, I gaped at its spires for months.
Does Antiva City have nothing that compares to Val Royaux?
Antiva City is a jewel among the capitals. But I did not appreciate that before I traveled. There are multitudes of places I'd like to see. Seheran, the Anderfels, whatever lies past the Amaranthine Ocean.
That's what I'd like to see too. What lies past the Amaranthine Ocean. I'm sure we'll get our chance eventually. Tell me about Antiva, because Dragon Age Season 2, parts of it takes place in Antiva, and I want to learn more about it.
Who rules Antiva?
Officially, the Principality of Antiva is governed by His Majesty King Fugelno II. In reality, Antiva's merchant princes rule the country in everything but name. Quite loudly, I might add.
What sort of dealings did you have with these merchant families?
As ambassador, I attended Privy Council meetings in a mediatory capacity. May I just say, One has never heard an argument until they've sat in on 15 princes howling down each other's tariff suggestions.
I'd storm out of any meeting that came to that.
It would be fitting. Dramatic exits are always a favorite. It's all a part of life in Antiva. Our traditions value passion and romance. A certain exuberance of style.
Are you positive you're Antivan?
I can be most exuberant when it's called for. Just at the right moments, and in a proper fashion.
Of course,
Might we speak
fashion.
of something else?
I think we've already talked about Antiva, right?
What's the land like in Antiva?
The settled areas are quite lush. The vineyards run as far as the eye can see in some places. Antiva city, however, perches right up against the Rialto Bay. That's what I miss most. The sea crashing against the maze of the docks.
I have difficulty seeing you wandering around a trading port.
Everyone in Antiva city spends time by the ships, my lady. The finest restaurants and poets all make their habitation by the sea.
Yum.
The waterfront's never still. Lanterns are lit along the promenade, no matter what the weather.
Are you ever homesick?
Occasionally. When a breeze stirs the trees in the garden, I sometimes pretend it's the sound of the surf. Do you know, I even miss those terrible squawking birds infesting the harbor. My youngest sister used to throw whole loaves of bread to the gulls. Silly thing.
Let's speak later.
Goodbye.
Thank you for that, Josephine.
Yes.
How do you stay so civil with everyone, Josephine?
Bonds of circumstance among the nobility are fickle. Civility is the only constant everyone admires. And I do deplore rudeness in those who know better.
Does it even become a strain sometimes?
Well, it can be trying. There is no shortage of self-regard among the nobility. The game can be wearying, discouraging, and extremely baneful.
Tell me about it.
But honestly, I'd miss meeting people. I've made the most fascinating friends.
One good thing about becoming Inquisitor has been meeting so many different people.
Amen to
Please.
that, sister.
I imagine we appear a strange bunch to those outside our circle. Mages, Templars, Seekers, and an apostate elf are not often found working in harmony. Or at all.
That's
What
true.
do the people make of us?
We've gathered many favors among the nobility. They will be gently reminded of this.
But I think that the fact that we are able to have all those different people come together and work in harmony, you know, to a certain degree, speaks volumes of our organization.
Any visiting dignitaries I should watch out for?
Marquise Hedinel is here, but Her Grace sends her apologies for missing dinner. Allergies, I'm afraid.
Allergies to what?
Wheat, eggs, honey, meat, most fish, some
Wow.
poultry, Antivan peppers, winter fruits, and every nut under the sun.
Wow.
What does the Marquise subsist on?
No spite, according to her siblings, as the Marquise had the fortune to be firstborn of her family. Try to avoid invitations to any of their luncheons.
I can't even imagine. Okay. Alright, so. I don't think there's anything in particular that we need to do at our throne. Oh, there is. Alright. Let us dish out judgment. Who's the next?
I do not believe a reminder is necessary for this accused. Her capture and disgrace could not have been more public. Grand Duchess Floriane de Chalon,
Oh, yes.
although her titles are among the dignities already at risk of forfeiture.
She's alive still.
You spared
Oh.
her life despite her treachery. What becomes of it now falls to you.
This is very interesting because in my previous two playthroughs, she never survived. We always killed her. So it's kind of cool that Elle is the first person to actually judge her outside of a box. Welcome to my party.
Out of your element, Florian. Welcome to the Inquisition. My party.
Nice.
Despite her posture, Lady Florian has acknowledged your authority.
Despite her
Should I
posture.
curse you on behalf of the Elder One? I realize he had no intention of honoring the concordats I manipulated. Do as you must. I respect your mastery of the game, even as I despise your victory. Celine does not know her fortune.
That's right, because I alone was able to get the three of them to work together. Let her repent in a cloister. Jester's outfit, bad shoes! That is so something that Elle would do. Put her guile to work for us. Come and work with the common. Exile out of my sight. See, this is pretty... I mean, this would probably make her an agent, which would be very beneficial to us if we made her an agent, but I have to... Guys, I have to put her in the Jester's outfit, bad shoes. I just have to do this. It's so something that Elle would do, even though I know we would get such a boon out of this, but no.
She has caused no end of misery. It's time she brought some joy. Grand Duchess Florian de Chalon, jester to the Inquisition, in flat shoes.
History's greatest malevolence, Inquisitor. I am the jest of Orlais already.
Well, now you get to wallow in it. You get to embrace it, my dear. Do we actually get to see her as a jester? I just want to see the bad shoes. Oh. Alright, well, if there is a sighting, if there is a Florian jester sighting, I will let you know. That's fantastic. It would have been nice if they actually showed it to us almost immediately after, but...
Try to find the maker, and that becomes blind.
It's a lot more hilarious when you're actually judging a box, though. Just saying.
I need to have a few words with my publisher. The first one will be you, and the second one will be bastard.
What?
They've claimed for years my crime serials don't sell in Orlais. So why is the Council of Heralds asking me for autographs? Sorry, distracted. Anyway, you need something?
What are your thoughts on the Inquisition?
If there's anybody out there who hasn't joined the Inquisition, they're hiding under a rock. Did you want to take over for Eldon? I think we might be able to conquer it just by looking east.
What do you think of our general?
Find him a war or something. If he spends any more time in the yard drilling, Josephine will have him killed.
I don't think I've ever gotten this conversation with Varric before. At least I don't remember it.
How do you think Josephine is handling the job of ambassador?
If this Inquisition thing doesn't work out, I may hire her to deal with the Merchants Guild. She'd own them before breakfast.
Nice.
What do you think of Leliana's work?
Do you want to know what the Arishok had for breakfast this morning? I think she can tell you.
Nice.
Good to know.
Back to work then.
Varric, I still have more to
Looking for
ask you
someone to
about.
talk your ear off? I think I can oblige.
I always love talking to you, Varric. Do I have any more
I
questions
read
about
your
Hawk?
tale of the champion, and I have a few questions.
I think I've already...
That's a pretty common
I
read.
think, yeah, you've
Carry
already
on.
answered these questions.
Looking
Varric,
for someone to talk your ear off? I think I can oblige.
personal question?
Can I ask you something, Varric?
You want to talk about me?
Alright,
Thanks.
No problem.
and
What can I do for you, Inquisitor?
I'm assuming no more about
I
Red
want to-
Lyrium.
I'll tell you what I can.
Oh, here we go.
I've seen it infect people like a disease and turn them to lyrium. How can it do that?
That's a good question. The people I've had studying the stuff say you need to actually touch it to get infected. But it seems to take time. The longer you spend with it, the more likely you'll come down with a case of the crazy.
Right.
But how it works, and if it can be cured, they haven't figured out.
What could the Templars want with it?
In Kirkwall, just having the lyrium idol made Knight Commander Meredith impossibly strong. Before it turned her into a lyrium statue, anyway. Maybe they thought the power was worth it, or maybe they didn't know the consequences.
I think that's enough on red lyrium.
Yeah, not really my favorite subject.
Yeah, I understand that. Alright. Let's see who else has new things to say. Solas, anything?
There are spirits hovering by the veil to observe the thrones of powerful nations. The machinations, betrayals.
Machinations.
After our time in Halamshiral, I understand why. I had forgotten how I missed court intrigue.
I'm pleased you had a good time.
Political gambits? Broken promises? Half-truths? It is a palace full of motivation. And motivation is where great things happen. In any event, Celine should now be a steadfast ally. Especially after helping her neutralize Briala.
I'm not sorry about Briala. I'm sorry about Briala.
I hope you know that I didn't turn over Briala lightly. If I'd had another option...
What? Why would I disapprove of... Oh, because we're both elves.
Am I always gonna...
I'm sorry, I
offend
was
you?
confused. I do not consider myself to have much in common with the elves.
Who then? That's tragic. Actually, I don't really have that much common with the Dalish elves. Yeah, that's the problem. El doesn't have much in common with them.
Nor should you. You're not defined by the shape of your ears. They're not your people.
No, they are not. I joined the Inquisition to save the world. Regardless of who my people are, this was the best way to help them. As for the elves of Orlais, I believe Briala is doing quite well on their behalf. She is an admirable woman.
I agree.
She's done good work. Hopefully, with our help, she can help them even more.
Yes. However much I identify, or fail to identify, with her people, Briala's efforts have been remarkable.
Good.
She
Credit where
organized
credit's due.
resistance against a powerful enemy, using only her wits and the resources at hand. That demands respect, especially in a world where most would look at her and only see a pair of pointed ears.
Right.
Greetings.
Well said.
I'm interested in what you told me of yourself in your studies. If you have time, I'd like to hear more.
You continue to surprise me. All right, let us talk. Preferably somewhere more interesting than this.
Oh, so we're finally getting the cutscene that we didn't get before. Alright. I guess we didn't really have that much of an approval rating with Solas. Which is surprising, because I feel like I've been doing a decent job of having him approve of what I was saying. At least as much with Art and Andy. So unless he automatically has minus disapproval if you're an elf, which makes kind of a sense, since, you know, he says he doesn't really particularly have find much in common with himself than the regular elf, knowing who Solas is, I can understand why he feels that way. But, anyway. Cutscene.
Why here?
Haven is familiar. It will always be important to you.
We talked about that already.
I sat beside you while you slept, studying the anchor.
I'm glad someone was watching over me.
You were a mystery. You still are. I ran every test I could imagine. Searched the Fade, yet found nothing. Cassandra suspected duplicity. She threatened to have me executed as an apostate if I didn't produce results.
I would never have agreed to that.
You were in no position to argue. You were never going to wake up? How could you? A mortal sent physically through the Fade. I was frustrated, frightened. The spirits I might have consulted had been driven away by the breach. Although I wished to help, I had no faith in Cassandra, or she in me. I was ready to flee.
But you stayed.
I did. I told myself, one more attempt to seal the rifts. I
And
tried
that's all
and
we needed.
failed. No ordinary magic would affect them. I watched the rifts expand and grow, resigned myself to flee, and then... It seems you hold the key to our salvation. You had sealed it with a gesture. And right then, I felt the whole world change.
For all our sakes, I'm pleased that you stuck around.
As am I. You have fractured rules of man and nature, and you will shatter more before you are done. Visiting me here, even as a mage, it should not have been so easy for you.
What do you mean?
Where do you think we were?
This isn't real.
Elle's eyes are so pretty.
That's a matter of debate. Probably best discussed after you wake up.
Smooth, Solas, very smooth. Oh, look at this beautiful Orlesian bed. Definitely fits Elle's style. Oh, what a gorgeous, gorgeous morning. Oh, so beautiful. Extremely beautiful. Alright. Let us make our way. I see this place is so huge, I don't even remember how to get back to where we were. Alright, let's go back and follow up with Soul Man. I'm a soul man. Da 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 da. I'm a soul man. That's Solas. Alright. Good morning, Burrick. Don't mind me. I still don't see the jester. The jester.
Sleep well?
I had some odd dreams. Very odd dreams. With very odd people in them, for that matter.
I will take that as a compliment, given that you include yourself. Remember, you came looking for me. I had no idea that the anchor would allow you to dream with such focus. It is truly remarkable. But I am reasonably certain we are awake now.
Reasonably certain.
And if you wish to discuss anything, I would enjoy talking.
I'd like to hear more about what you saw in your exploration of the Fade.
I would be happy to share it with you.
Tell me about the old memories you found in the Fade.
I saw a savage human horde go marching toward the battlefront. They sang the soldier's hymn to keep formation. Primal music shook the ground. These savage, unwashed warriors carried harmonies no chantry choirs mastered. Though their cause was all but hopeless, they sang songs that made the spirits weep.
Tell me about the old ruins you explored.
I found the ruin of Barandur, a lost Tevinter city buried deep beneath a dead and barren wasteland. Volcanic ash had sealed it tight. In one dark moment, every living creature in the city seared and smothered. They were statues in the ashes, like a mold made to recall the lost.
Tell me about a spirit you encountered.
I met a friendly spirit who observed the dreams of village girls as love first blossomed in their adolescence. With subtlety, she steered them all to village boys with gentle hearts, who would return their love with gentle kindness. The matchmaker, so I called her. That small village never knew its luck.
That's
We'll
really
talk
cool.
later.
Goodbye.